CRWS, Countering Racism White Supremacy Book Club. Like, share, subscribe, and comment below.
Alright, here is my review on the film They Will Kill You. The movie starts out with a quote saying, "When the poor give to the rich, the devil laughs." And wanted to go straight to the code book to deal with like sort of the themes that goes on. So mainly this area 9, and I'll read the start of area 9. As long as white supremacy racism exists, always think, speak, and act as if you are in a battle zone, and that people, white or non-white, may do bodily harm at any time and any place. That's what mainly goes on within this film. Also, white supremacist racists not only enjoy killing non-white people, but they also enjoy terrorizing, confusing, intimidating, brutalizing, depriving, and making fun of the weakness, stupidity, and ignorance of non-white people. White supremacists intend to do this forever. So to also finish with the quote, Mr. Fuller's term about poor or just poor people. During the existence of white supremacy, racism, and according to compensatory counter-racist logic, it is best and correct not to apply the terms rich or poor to any of the people of the known universe. Instead, it is best and correct to use the term powerful to apply to those white people of the known universe who participate in the practice of white supremacy racism, and in the term powerless to apply to those white persons who do not participate in the practice of white supremacy racism, and and to those non-white people who are subject to white people who participate in the practice of white supremacy racism. So as you watch the film, you see the main focus is the main character who is on the run because of mainly abuse, and her motivation as you watch the film is her sister. That is her only motivation of basically saving her and pretty much leaving their terroristic environment. So she gets caught at some sort of corner store, and then it pretty much has her on the run, and then it takes us to where it is 10 years later to her at this hotel. She gets to the hotel, and somehow the white woman guest shows her around, but you can't use phones, so there's secrets going on. We have a white woman that's posing as some sort of a anti-aging sort of person, but later on we find out that this whole place is immortal. Mainly all of the maids were non-white, and then the main character was called Piggy, I believe by the white woman that was showing around, if I can remember correctly. Like I said, we find out that these white people are immortal when one of the white people tried to quote unquote molest the main character. I believe her name was Asia. Let me pause. Yes, her name was Asia, and Asia is almost molested, but then we find out that she tries to fight off these immortals who are all mainly white people, and as she tries to do that, that's when the character who showed around Lily starts clapping. So now she's just fending for her life and livelihood while trying to find her sister throughout the film. Also, Lily is in a tragic arrangement with a black male character named Ray, who later tries to help Asia in finding her sister. He does do that, um, and then he, becomes a sacrifice in a sense. Um, it seems like also too, um, with them sacrificing themselves to become immortal, mostly from the compilation of them, killing these innocent victims. It seems like most of these victims were victims of racism, non-white people that they were killing in order to live on for this devil that's on the top floor. Um, I said this is another film where white people kill non-white people just for enjoyment. Each floor is a vice. So we have a sex floor. We have well, I don't think they really expounded on the actual floors, but um, the floor that Asia was on seems like that was the floor for the maids, and then the second floor was like a whole sex orgy, and then whatever levels come on after that that didn't get specified. But all in all, I mean, I think the film just gives you a detail on a fight or flight sense if you're a non-white person, and knowing what to do when you're in that situation. I think that gives that detail off very well. I did enjoy the film. Like, it wasn't bad or terrible. Uh, but I guess other terms to point out as the film was going on. One of the white people said that they were nice. So let me pause there. So, on the term nice or nice person, use the t- use the terms nice or nice person to apply to any or all persons, white or non-white, who, for whatever reason, are pleasing to you. Do not, however, say that any person is a good person. So I'll end it at that. I think another term that also described this film, or just the hotel in general, because the actual term slave was actually thrown around a few times. So, slave world. Use this term to apply to any activity and or any condition in which a person is subject to or a victim of any activity or condition that is non-correct or non-just. So, I thought that term described the film pretty accurately. And lastly, the the term evil empire or evil religion. Use these terms to apply to the system of white supremacy racism. And I think that's what the character Asia was in. A evil religion, pretty much trying to take her sister out of this evil religion. So definitely check out the film, and hope this review goes out to any victim of racism trying to understand what the system is and how it works. I'm out later.
Arrangement, how easily that can destroy families. Um, Black male, he didn't make it out. Next slash, extra blood scene. Uh, White female captured. Um, um, When they come in, it's a pig and a stick. She goes, "It's a pig head on a stick." Like, shut up! This is our guy. And she takes some of her blood, and I was like, "Oh, here we go." Put it up to the pig snout. You see the crown horn demon coming out the glass, which reanimates the pig head. Talking about swine and two black females, two sisters. Um, the other people that were the it's like what is that? It's like the whole movie's in the sunken place. I forget the name of the other movie. Get Out. This is like Get
Yeah.
Out and like the story of what's her name's daughter on Kill Bill. If she had revenge on her mother, but this was a sister going back for her little sister.
Mm.
Um, Cinematography on 30 rotations and violence that I haven't seen before. It reminded me of certain camera angles of The Evil Dead. This is high production programming slash slop and bragging rights at the same time. I wanted to turn away from the violence that was happening to the to the non-white people in this film in particular, but things like that. Certain scene, she's laying down the job and she sees her sister's tattoo on her arm and gets a new breath of fresh air. This movie's about perseverance. No victim left behind. Um, there wasn't any coons, just victims. I love that. Everybody was on cold sacrifice for one another. Yeah, I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
Agreed. I think this film is significant because the truth.
No conflict among non-white people either.
Mm.
I can't remember either. But at the end, they wrote out with a white guy. I'll add that. Thank you.
The truth is stranger than fiction. This film reflects and reveals the how the system of white supremacy works and what it is. The system has been here for thousands of years at this point. White people have long discovered that in order for them to maintain power over the world, that requires great sacrifice. And what that looks like is them sacrificing the entire planet. Everything on this planet is suffering. All people on this planet are suffering. The difference is white people benefit most from the suffering. No, actually, white people are the only people who benefit from the suffering, and they like the fuck floor and this scene reminds me of George Washington. George Washington spoke about how like there's no fleshy pleasures that he can enjoy, something like that. And for a person who isn't familiar with history or white supremacy, you don't know much about George Washington. But George Washington was known for having the most slaves on his plantation, and also he had sex with most, if not all, of his slaves. Well, he raped all of his slaves, if not most of them, on the plantation. He would also, he was like Jeffrey Epstein, a torturer, was walking around with a mouthful of teeth owned by his slaves. Spent most of his time and energy raping and torturing his slaves. That's what the fuck floor reminded me of. Like, when
because white people have been allowed to do whatever they want on this planet, they've developed very, very unusual behaviors that involve fornicating with animals, children, and everything in between, inanimate objects. The Lily, let me get a picture of Lily on the screen. Lily, where you at, Lily? Lily, where you at? Where's Lily? It should not be hard to find her. Well, I guess the most powerful white person is Lily, her right here. This lady. Lily, she says have a rather unusual family with unusual needs. She is talking about white culture, white people, the system of white supremacy. No other group of people in the known universe or in recorded history have displayed this insatiable lust for violence and power. No group of people have demonstrated their willingness to do whatever they want to achieve having the world at their palms. You know, we exist on a planet where it's normal to mistreat people. In white culture, rape is very normal. Fornicating with animals is very, very normal. White people can be found all across the planet doing very, very unusual things. This film also demonstrates how words are used to deceive and how words are just used incorrectly. We have the scene where Maria, it's her first night at the motel, and the first white supremacist who is trying to bring her to the sacrifice, before he tries to do that, he like sniffing her, and then he like licks her feet, and then okay, that's definitely molesting, perverted behavior. But then the two other characters come in, and then they're like, why did we told him to wait for us? And then she's like, I told you. He fucks them. And then the guy's like, oh, pervert. I'm like, So he rapes them. He rapes the people they're going to sacrifice. That's not being a pervert. That's being a rapist. And most racists are rapists if you understand what's happening on this planet and you have developed the will to learn about white people and how they relate to non-white people and how they relate to each other. You will understand that most racists are rapists and most rapists are racist. That was really interesting. The little white boy, a little white kid, who is discourteous to Maria from the get-go. His name was Damien. There's some fascination with naming children Damien, this name that is always associated with like some sort of antichrist being brought here, blah blah blah. I think this scene right here, I think this just shows just like, just mistreatment. it takes a long time for Lily to let Maria in the house. I mean, in the hotel, and she's like in the pouring rain. That's very discourteous. It shouldn't have happened. It's quoted in the film. I think it was during when they were talking, when the like group of older white people were talking, and someone says, "This is a safe place." If you ever hear that on planet Earth, just know you're being lied to. There's no place on this planet that is quote unquote safe. You cannot be safe in a system designed to mistreat you in education, economics, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. If you are in a system designed to mistreat you and sabotage you in all areas of people activity, you will never be safe unless the system is replaced with a system that guarantees no one is allowed to be mistreated, and the persons who needs help the most receives constructive help. That is how we can create a safe place. Other than that, you're not gonna find it, and a lot of non-white people end up. A lot of non-white people are harmed greatly, thinking they're in a safe place. I recall a story. This black male who went on some sort of fishing trip with his white friends, and he didn't come back, but the white friends did. So he's missing now. He's probably dead. But yeah, you can literally do a Google search. I'll do a Google search actually. Get that on the screen really quickly. So, black missing after fishing trip. All right. Yes. So. All right, yeah. So yeah, spoke too soon. No, I didn't speak too soon. So this is what I was talking about. Body found during the search of teen who vanished after traveling to remote island with friends on 4th of July. His friends are all white. There's a picture. They're not gonna show the picture here, but you can do the research. You'll find the pictures of him and his friends, and they are all white. Now, if this individual had any understanding of white supremacy, what it is and how it works, perhaps he would not have perished. But we live in a system of white supremacy where non-white people, especially black males, are destined for destruction unless we understand and act like we know what kind of planet we're on. I really love this character, Asia Reeves. She demonstrates counter violence. Really, she's a counter violent warrior. You know, she kicked butt. Yeah, it's really like, you know, nice to see a victim of racism slaying white supremacists. The Satanism, you know, just like the most powerful religion on the planet is white supremacy, racism. We understand that truth is stranger than fiction. I am well certain that people are still being slain and killed ritualistically, because that is how some white people choose to practice racism, and they may also be in the know of occult happenings that occur when human sacrifices are made. I think another interesting, awesome part of this movie was when Lily, she's like asking Asia, who the fuck are you? And then she demonstrates who she is. She's here to save her sister and kill some white supremacists. And she did that. And she did that. I think the film is accurate in showing that a white man had to give her information that led her to her sister, because in this system, white people are the ones with the information. They're the ones with the knowledge. They're the ones who understand what's happening on this planet. It's the non-white people who do not understand what's happening, which is why we can be found doing stupid shit 24/7. White people can also be found doing stupid shit 24/7. The only difference is they have a system that supports and protects them when they're doing stupid shit. Non-white people do not have that. So we just end up dead on the 4th of July because we want to play fireworks or whatnot. So who was Asia Reeves? She was I'm gonna call her a attempted counter racist. That's a while I will call her. But 317. That's the time she woke up. I did a Google search, and it could be referencing a bunch of stuff. I'm sure it's referencing a Bible verse. Yeah, fuck the Bible. Really, it's not. It's just worthless. Worthless, unless you are reading the Bible, understanding that these fantasy tales are only useful if we're gathering lessons from them. They're not actually supposed to save your soul or help you to get in heaven or anything related to Jesus or God or salvation. All that is nonsense, stupid doctrine given to non-white people to further our conditioned stupidity that we receive from white supremacy 24/7. So I'm not even gonna read this. If you guys want to use your time, 317 is the time she woke up. Knock herself out. But no sex with white people. No sex with white people. If Maria's parents would have followed this, then they would have never been in this situation to begin with. If Ray, I don't even know. Well, Ray is a where's Ray? He's probably already dead by this point in the movie. Well, Ray is the black male character who was married to this white supremacist for over 100 years. Over 100 years. That means they probably got together sometime in the late 1800s. So for a white woman to call a black male her husband in that era, a white woman must be very, very evil to take someone who's like a black person in that era, knowing what black people are enduring in the 1800s. It's wacky. It's wacky. I don't know why the director made him black. I don't know why the director made him black. It makes sense because a white man would not have helped her. So a white supremacist would not have helped her. So yes, it makes sense that, I guess for the film, it makes sense. Yahoo, you said something earlier about Jeffrey Epstein. I wasn't recording then. Do you remember what you said, and can you repeat it?
What I was saying about Epstein was that this movie reminded me the satanic occult theft of people who are brought into a structure that is did you notice the eyeball? Like, oh yeah, any one of these parts can reanimate and blah blah blah. The eyeball was all the cameras around these facilities where they had these people in these torture racks in. This is a declaration of warfare. You know, we gave you the Epstein files, and there's nothing you can do about it. Then we'll show you a movie about it. Bragging. I can't remember who I heard say, "Watch this movie and it explains the system." And I cannot. I've been sitting here racking my brain the entire time because I was like, "Wait, I've heard this title before." But yeah, this is it. This is they clone Tyrone times two. They tell you a little bit, and they'll tell you more. Like this was a direct attack off of. I would even say if you if you go to the very beginning, you have the daughters. The whole conflict was abuse in the household before you even get to the Satanism. Let's keep it a buck. It was a broad shouldered white man who was their father chasing them to a fucking convenience store, kicking baskets down the aisle. That's who they were running from. Why were they running from their father? Then you get to the whole other crazy part. It reminded me of Dust Till Dawn. Same type of convenience store rhetoric. It's almost if Tarantino directed this film. But yeah, it was that type of thing. It's extremely visceral. Um, you had a helplessness of a father who's been dealing with this satanic priestess for 100 years and still gets his throat slashed. That's the worst part. You have all the helpers. In my opinion, I'm just gonna say for me, okay, I would say this is a direct attack on the black family. That's what I would say. And you have all the helpers, all the hordes, all the occult, all the regular stuff, and misandry and rape. And I'm you out.
Thank you. I don't know how I haven't mentioned it already, but program to kill. Program to kill for sure. Because films like Hostel, They Will Kill You, Ready or Not. The film with Ice-T and he's getting hunted by white people. These films they don't come out of thin air. They come from things that are happening on planet Earth, that have happened on planet Earth, and will continue to happen on planet Earth until white supremacy is eliminated. Because white supremacy is white supremacy is a very evil concept brought into reality by what, to sound cliche, but this concept has been brought here by people who are pure evil. I don't care where this evil came from. I don't care how they got this evil. I know they are very evil, vile, sick people who deserve death. White supremacists all deserve death because the suffering that they cause on this planet is immeasurable. We have a small minority of white people, less than 10% of the world population, responsible for the majority of all suffering on this planet, whether the suffering is coming from people, the trees, the plants, the environment, the bees, the animals, all things. So everything's suffering on this planet because of white people, because their dedication to this evil system, this system that demands mass death, mass poverty, mass hunger, mass inequality, mass filth. So this film is, and it's also, whenever we see these films, we have to understand that the white people behind it are clowning us, because they understand most of us are just watching a film and having a laugh and just being entertained. Very few individuals watch this film as a form of edutainment, learning through entertainment, reading the film, studying the film. Well, okay, why did the director make this film? What is the director trying to reveal? Very few people go into films with this mindset, which is why entertainment is so worthless and such a waste of time if we're just watching it mindlessly, which most of us are, because we exist in a system that retards our minds, makes our minds into mush, makes our minds full of garbage, worthless, meaningless stuff, and also fills our minds with lies. They want us to believe. They want us to believe that this is a dad. They want us to believe this is a dad and not a white supremacist who raped a black female and brought 2 victims of racism to planet Earth, where he also is mistreating because he's a white supremacist. This is not a dad or a father. This is a white supremacist who raped a black female, and that's what's going on here. Frank did not have a wife. Frank had a captive. He was captive, I should say. He had a captor. Literally, it's right there. She literally captured him twice. First, when she convinced him that she loved him and that they could have a relationship, and then she captured him again and then killed him. This action. Are you have any notes to share?
I think you covered pretty much what I wanted to cover. Like, where are the 2 girls' mother? What happened to her? They don't explain that. What's going to happen to I noticed it was mostly non-white females on the first floor cleaning. What is going to happen to them? Lots of unanswered questions.
All right. If there are no more notes that we want to share, we are gonna sign off. Yeah. Well, anything else before we head out?
I have one. Yes, sir. Miss Action just reminded me when she said that. I don't mean to laugh, but I'm sorry I have to because this movie was just so over the top. Um, how come their father didn't come back when the rest of the people were released off the pig's head? Where was his name at? How come the father wasn't waiting outside with the white guy when they got in the car? Everybody else came back. That's all.
Papa. So I'm looking at my page of notes. Oh yeah, we already discussed it, but yeah, the film literally starts off with 2 black females, 2 victims of racism, running away from a white supremacist, and this is like a metaphor, a symbol for all non-white people refusing to face and counter white supremacy. We are running away. When we refuse to challenge and counter and reveal and share information about the reality we are subjected to, the reality of being forced to say I am black, to be given this racial classification of black, and then given this whole idea of expectations that you should have if you are classified as a black. We got this culture for you. You're gonna like it. And about lots of dancing and nonsense. Oh, and you're gonna be mistreated for sure. But don't worry, we got a whole bunch of feel good stuff for you. We got all these holidays we let you guys celebrate to like relax. We gave you guys this awesome religion, Christianity. You're black. You love being black, right? Black power, right? When we do not understand the system of white supremacy, we are at least this film, or at least Asia Reeves had the will and ability to fight and counter and kill racists. Non-white people should at least develop the ability and will to, hey, what's this racism thing all about? It can't just be this simple thing. It can't just be me being called a nigger. It can't just be. It has to be more. Something else is going on here. Because how come where all the black people live, it's like horrible, and how come there's so many black people in jail? Like either non-white people are naturally destined for prison, early death, cancer, various diseases. Unless it's our nature to want to go out and kill other black people, unless it's our nature to want to go out and harm people in our families, something is being done to our minds to produce these results, or this is who we are. And I am certain from my studying of history and my studying of people that melanated people once upon a time did not function in this manner. We were not jumping up and down and booty shaking and doing all this stupid stuff. This started when white people got a hold of our minds, when they took over our minds and taught us how to think, taught us how to perceive the world. They put their hands over our eyes and told us what we will see. And because of that, we have this mass confusion where, like, don't even talk about racism to another black person. They may get mad at you, may try to beat you up. And that's really tragic and ironic, because all roads lead to racism. Everything relates to the reality that we exist in a system of white supremacy. So this is a great film, a great canvas to discuss white supremacy. I would suggest non-white people, check out this film. Give it a counter-racist viewing. It's pretty enjoyable. Final thoughts before we head out. All right, we're gonna do something a little bit new. I want to know everyone's favorite part or scene of this movie, and then we'll head out. I'm not gonna start. Miss Action.
I guess when I don't know. I guess her first. It's a toss up between shooting the dad and like her first the kill of the people in there when she was in that closet. Was it this scene?
Yeah, it's around this part where she goes into the
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh wow.
yeah, and this director Kirill Sokolov, or whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, he had fun putting Zaza beats through. I don't know. It felt very like looks a little. I don't know, a little sexual. You know, it's just like, and
Like,
It's
you
very
know, underage.
sadomasochist,
yeah,
sexual.
yeah,
Yeah.
There's
exactly.
even one scene. There's even one scene she catches it in the crotch. The camera doesn't show it, but you know what happened with the action. It was like a club or something like that, from like one of those hallway scenes. Yeah, they was very. It was very. Her abuse was very visceral. A lot more than Uma Thurman's in Kill Bill.
Yeah, and she was
Mm-hmm.
barefoot the whole movie. I like barefoot the
Die
whole.
Hard.
Yeah.
Die Hard.
Yeah, yeah, like, like, yeah, this, um, yeah, it's, yeah, that was my favorite part was, my favorite part was when it is revealed that, yeah, that these racists, they can't be killed. These racists can't die. In order to eliminate these racists, you have to go to the source. She had to go to the source, and that's kind of that is kind of how the system functions. The only way to eliminate the system is by going to the source. We cannot eliminate racism by going to other non-white people. Non-white people have to participate in the effective number that will challenge white people to say, you know what, yeah, we're done here. We're super done. You guys have been making us clowns and killing us and abusing us and mistreating us for too long. We're done. We are no longer the cowards you have conditioned us to be. Death can't be worse than the shit you've been putting us through. Well, since we've encountered each other, we no longer fear death. So you know what, white people, white supremacists, you could kill all of us, or you can help us to produce justice. And if you choose to kill all of us, then we're gonna fight like hell, trying to kill all of you too. That will be way better dynamic than what we have going on right now. Yeah, well, did you have a favorite part of the film?
Yes. Haven't seen this one ever done before. Um, the scene uh, when she comes out of the closet and then she gets to the other side of the room, she's still groggy. You know, doesn't really. We think she doesn't know what's going on, and she goes over to the light and she pulls the cord out, and I'm like, what kind of what? That didn't do anything. Turn the lights off. They're talking. You know, blah 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 blah, and the woman goes, you know, to approach her, and she hits her with the cord to close the circuit and blows her across the room. I was like, hold on. I've never seen that before in my life. At that point, I thought she was dead. I was like, okay, we got the next level right now, like transmitting the circuit. Okay, this woman
Yeah.
has had so many jail fights, and she's been waiting for this one day to walk up to this door with the devil on the door. Like she knows where she's going. No fear. I'm coming to get my sister. That says a lot. Um, it says that you have to have demonic forces to split two non-white sisters apart. I think that should be recognized too. You have to do all of this to break that bond. Um, Not leaving a victim behind. I think that was a, a statement that wasn't meant to be said by the people who created this, by the um, white supremacists who created this movie. That wasn't something that was stated when they made this. Um, but that's what I saw.
Mm. Yeah. Thank you. And why I appreciate you all sharing your notes because it allows me to see more. Guerrilla warfare tactics is what it's what I see her doing throughout the film. You know, she's thinking on the fly and she's using whatever she can to inflict damage on her enemies. And when we study large conflicts that white people convince us are wars, when they're really not wars, they're just large battles within the only war that exists on this planet, which is the race war. Racism is a war against all non-white people. The Vietnam War, it's not a war, it's a battle. But I mentioned Vietnam because they have beat white people twice in large battles because of guerrilla warfare tactics, and also they had courage and they were willing to kill and die for their beliefs. So when non-white people are willing to do the same to produce justice, we will find and see constructive results.
Hey, if I could add a caveat to that, just what you were saying about that, about guerrilla warfare and tactics to fight uh, the system. I I would like to give a shout out to Iran with no nuclear missiles fighting the two biggest fighting forces on the planet right now and has them running like bitches and has everybody on a shortage by using asymmetrical warfare. Um, and Trump made sure today to send missiles directly to their funeral procession they've been having for the last Ayatollah. 12 million people showed up, the biggest procession ever seen in Guinness Book of World Records. Trump and his small hat agents of chaos cannot handle it, and they bombed the procession today while people were watching the World Cup. Yeah.
Oof. Final comment. You know, white people are masters of deception. They've convinced the average non-white person the biggest, most evil, scariest concept out there is the devil. Satan. Oh no. Oh no. Satan. Oh no. It's evil. But I have never seen Satan electrocute a young black male guilty of no crimes. I have never seen Satan lynch and chop off the penis of a black child, Emmett Till. I have never seen Satan flood black neighborhoods with chemical agents known as crack to cause massive chaos. I have seen white people do these things. I have seen white supremacists drop bombs on black people's homes, killing children. Now you tell me, for the folks who find this broadcast, should we really be worried about Satan? Or should we be worried about the people we can see doing evil? And when we do see and learn about the evil being committed on this planet, Do we find a purpose to do something about it? Or do we remain the cowardly victims that white people relish in us being? Please like, share this broadcast. Go to producejustice.com. Get the code book. Never gonna tell you to follow all of it to a T. But familiarize yourself with the planet we are on, so there could be less confusion, and because of less confusion, there could be less suffering occurring amongst non-white people. Less suffering because with clarity of the system, we will learn and understand that our qualms are not with other non-white people. Our problems may appear to come from other non-white people, but these non-white people have been infected with a mind that is not pleasant. A mind that has been taught to hate themselves and everything that looks like them. So much work is to be done within ourselves so we can counter this system. So please like, share, send support my way if you can. CRWS signing out.